In was just looking somewhere, sitting on a stool while her sister was standing behind her, curling the last strand of In's hair with excitement, the perfume lingering in the air from In. Yuna, look at you. Admiring you look gorgeous, sis. In didn't even smile at her compliment. She just wore her heels and looked at her reflection like it was nothing, and then Yuna's face furrowed and she asked her, looking into her eyes through the reflection. Yuna, what's wrong, sis? In, it's been 10 days since I came to our home after the marriage. In these 10 days he hasn't been in contact with me. Now when his parents are throwing a business party, he made a call and is coming now to pick me up so we can go there together. Yuna, come on sis. It's arranged, and let him take time to adjust with you. We know he had a breakup with Sobi, and this marriage was also for business purposes by his parents and ours. So, don't be like that, get chill with him. In, how can I be chill, when I got to know not only me but even his ex-girlfriend is coming to the party too? What if he wants his ex and doesn't want me, Yuna? Hey, just because he was intimate with you, it doesn't mean he still wants his ex, okay? They heard the car honking and In stood up, knowing it was definitely her husband. Yuna, enjoy the party with your handsome husband. In nodded and walked out of the room. When she hurriedly came out, she saw him standing beside his car, scrolling something on his phone. He wore a sleek gray hoodie hugging his broad, strong shoulders. His dark jeans were well fitted, and he looked so simple with his handsomeness not showing off. Then he sniffed her perfume before he could raise his head, and she herself called him In. Jungkook, when he saw her, he stopped scrolling. It wasn't like he was staring at her beauty or the way she got ready for the party, but it was something else. Meanwhile, she was looking at him, her face brightening, as if she was expecting he would say she was beautiful. Jungkook, you came, let's get into the car, we are getting late. Hearing it made her brightened face fade. She nodded and walked toward the car in silence. In about 30 minutes he drove fast, and during the ride they didn't talk at all, only exchanged a few strange glances. The business party is glowing with bright lights while soft music plays in the baccalaureate round. In likes it, admiring everything around her. It's a seaside resort party, and the cold wind keeps blowing, giving her chills. He is talking with a few clients, and after a while she was busy with his parents. While they were talking with her, her eyes kept checking on him often as he was busy. Then his father introduced In to an important guest, and while she was busy, she looked back at Jungkook over her shoulder as usual. Suddenly In's eyes furrowed as she didn't see him, and she excused herself from there to go see where he had gone. She stopped when she saw Jungkook was back facing her while watching the sea alone, his palms resting on his waist. In, what is he even looking at there alone? Isn't he cold standing out there? The cold wind bit at her skin as she murmured to herself. She started making her way to him, rubbing her arms, slightly shivering, but before she could reach him, she felt a small pat on her shoulder. When she turned back, she was startled to see Sogi's already there. She looked stunning, her strawberry blonde hair brushing against her bare shoulders. For a moment In's eyes scanned her from head to toe, so he looked breathtaking in a backless champagne cami dress. I didn't expect you to come too, In, and you already know me. Absolutely. By the way you asked me, that makes sense. So you already knew me too? And I asked Jungkook, so he told me. I see, you're lucky to get such a man, but he was unlucky to lose a woman like me and end up with you. She said it with pride that made In's face dull. She couldn't talk back as she felt insecure, and then she heard Jungkook's voice and saw him coming. It's been so long, hasn't it? Jungkook. The way she called him, smiling, made In's face turn pale. Jungkook noticed and turned toward her. Jungkook, why do you look so doomed? In. Nothing. She shook her head and folded her arms tightly, shivering as the cold wind blew, becoming even more freezing, asking herself, does Jungkook still want her? Jungkook, it's so cold here, isn't it? She hugged herself, pretending to be very cold and shivering. Jungkook, are you really feeling cold? It's freezing out here. I wish I had a hoodie like yours. He clutched the hem of his hoodie, but before pulling it off he glanced at Hin. She was already shivering, expecting Jungkook to give his hoodie to her, and feeling tense as well. He looked at Sohee and pulled off his hoodie in one smooth motion, revealing the fitted mock neck underneath that clung to his muscular body. He gave it to her, and Sohee excitedly put it on, while In tried to hide her emotions to avoid getting hurt. Sohee gave In a smirk. Then she couldn't take it and looked away, suppressing her emotions, rubbing her arms. Sohee, I know, Jungkook, you still? She stopped mid-sentence when In froze, feeling him back up her, taking her body against his chest and pulling her close, warming her instantly. Sohee couldn't tolerate seeing them and was about to intervene, but when she saw the way Jungkook was, made her stop. Jungkook smiled at her back with affection, burying his face in the corner of her neck, his lips brushing against her soft hair, pouring love that made Sohee blank. Meanwhile, In's heart started beating fast as his strong arms tightened around her waist from behind. She forgot to breathe for a moment. Chills ran down her spine, making her forget the cold wind. He didn't say anything, just let her feel him, and even with the cold wind around them, she could feel a rhythm in his warm embrace. In. Jungkook. She didn't know how to speak, overwhelmed by the sudden closeness, and started to stutter. In. Jungkook, say it clearly. In. I think Mom is waiting for men. She broke the hue, unsure of how to read, to speak, or behave. Before he could ask anything, she just walked away. Jungkook shook his head, understanding that maybe she was just shy, but before he could follow her, Sohee spoke, making him look at her. Sohee, I thought you would move on from the past and could be mine, and that you didn't love your wife. He furrowed his eyebrows at her, but it seems like you are in love with your wife. No. But Jungkook, how can you say that? Blushed Sohee, I literally saw your face when you hugged her with love, which I didn't receive when we were in a relationship. Jungkook, you didn't receive it because of your fake love. That's why I broke up with you. Jungkook, you're just a person who wants someone in your hands like a puppet. Sohee, I realized everything after all, but what's the use if I have no one? She lowered her head slowly. Jungkook felt bad and walked towards her, grabbing her shoulder to make her look at him. Jungkook, why do you think like this? It might be late, but someone will surely come into your life soon. Sohee smiled. Thank you, Jungkook. Mrs. John, In, where is Jungkook? In, has just talking with his friends. Mrs. John, I am okay. I have a wish. In, what's that? Mrs. John, I want a grandchild. In was surprised. Have you two thought about starting a family? In pressed her lips into a thin line, avoiding eye contact with hesitation. Then Mrs. John ruffled her hair and said, Mrs. John, I don't want to rush you. I just wanted to share this with you. She left while In stayed like that. Then she saw Sohee coming. In thought she would definitely mess with her, but what Sohee did surprised In even more. She just hugged In. Sohee, sorry. She broke the hue and moved away from her. I got really jealous of you, and I thought Jungkook would never move on too, but you are so lucky. And In's jaw dropped. She couldn't believe Sohee was talking so sweetly all of a sudden. In, Did something hit your head? Why are you suddenly talking so sweetly to me? So he smiled tightly. Something really hit me, not my head, but the reality of my mindset when I realized Jungkook is only yours, not mine. How can you say that? So anyone can say that, but Jungkook. Hey, what are you both talking about? She stopped as Jungkook came towards them, his hands tucked in his pants pockets. He stood beside her casually, but what he said made swallow, and Jungkook looked surprised. So you know what your mom was telling your wife? She wants a grandchild. Jungkook. What? He looked from Sohee to his wife. She looked back at him with an awkward smile, but a small smirk appeared on his lips. Jungkook. Did my mom really say that? Yes, she did. His smirk grew as he rubbed the back of his neck. Jungkook. And how did you respond to hers? Hesitated, unable to answer, and just shrugged. It's getting late. Take me home. He could tell she clearly meant something else instead of what she said, and he nodded. The road was very quiet as the car moved along. She sat beside him, watching through the window how the sky was sprinkled with stars while lovely music played smoothly in the car. The car was moving at a normal speed, and the trees were swaying. While he was driving the car, he glanced at her, one hand on the wheel and the other tapping on it. Just then, she noticed he was heading toward her home and looked at him with confusion. This isn't the way home. Where are we going, Jungkook? To our home. She was silent, feeling both happy and confused. Her eyes asked questions, and he slowed the car, placing his hand over, tears brushing the back of her hand, sending chills through her. Jungkook, I can't let you stay there anymore. Just because your father asked you to stay with him for a few days, I couldn't say no since you didn't either. But I can't bear staying away from you, so it's just an excuse to see you at a party, take you with me, and bring you to our home. He was cut off when he saw she was looking at him with big eyes and not even blinking or moving. Jungkook. She didn't respond, so he stopped the car and gently shook her shoulder. What's wrong? Are you for real, Jungkook? Of course. If you want me this much, then why the hell are you like a cold husband towards me? Jungkook. Hey, and not a cold husband, okay? Then why didn't you talk to me like this before too? You really made me question myself, like, does he not like me or what? Jungkook. Oh Lord, look, I was just awkward at the beginning of our marriage since it was for business purposes in a way, and I always thought you would misunderstand me if I did anything wrong. And when you had to go to your parents' house, I really went crazy, but I couldn't share it with anyone. You could have at least made a call and told me how much you were missing me. Jungkook. I couldn't because I didn't want to disturb you while you were with them. She wanted to scold him and find a way to ask more questions, but she couldn't, feeling too happy. Then Jungkook's grip on her shoulder tightened, making her lean into the seat. I still can't believe this. It feels like a dream to me. Jungkook, you think this is a dream? Smirks. I can remind you how real I am. He leaned over her,